In 2019, I recorded my album The Next Billion Years in Estonia, together with conductor Christian and his orchestra, the Nordic Pulse Ensemble. When I released it in spring 2020, we already had a full tour booked with a full orchestra, but then of course the pandemic happened and the shows were all cancelled, so I couldn't support the album live. But the lockdown also gave birth to a new side project of mine, Foam and Sand, which is my ambient project. And then I had the idea to revisit the songs from The Next Billion Years and sort of reimagine them through the lens of my ambient project, Foam and Sand. Foam and Sand has its own signature sound. It's a different musical language that is close to the one I use when I write as Robert Koch, but it's also its own unique expression. I would say it's an even more intimate musical approach. Instead of the larger orchestral arrangements that I used on the original album, these new compositions are more minimal. They're more of a micro view than a macro view. They're about simplicity, slicing off anything that's not essential. One of the sonic hallmarks of Foam and Sand is that I embrace the unsteady beauty of tapes in the sound creation process. And that's how it connects with The Next Billion Years thematically, because the album started with an old cassette tape that I found in a second-hand store in Los Angeles, which included a speech from Jacques Cousteau from the 70s, where he spoke about the future of humanity.
To think about life in the next billion years implies a bold postulatum, the postulatum of survival. However unlikely this postulatum may sound, it has a chance, because it seems that a new kind of consciousness is beginning to develop in the people's mind.
In the process of making this Reworks album, I dove into the details even more, explored the space between the sounds, magnified the textures, and stripped away everything that didn't feel essential to me. And that is my process. Zooming into the hidden imperfections of the wobbly sound of a tape, or how the visuals are zooming into fluids, to sort of show the hermetic principle as above, so below. And I'm really fascinated by the unknown, which to me is pure potential. It is essentially the field of all possibilities, or the quantum field, as science calls it. The known is just everything we already know. It's the beliefs and stories we subscribe to, whereas the unknown is where true wisdom lies. So tapping into the unknown, like a space explorer diving into the depths of micro and macro space, is something that really fascinates me, and it drives me in my creative process. It's about zooming into the details, the textures, and that sonic concept is embodied in the visuals too. The guys from Magnificent Matter create these stunning microscopic visual journeys that are such a good representation of what is expressed in the music. I'm really inspired by the whole field where science and spirituality meet. That's what the album is all about. It's about the long-term future of our species, which is the micro view, but it's also about the intimacy of the present moment, which is encapsulated as a zoomed-in micro view, so to speak, both sonically and visually. So the music's supposed to feel like you're in it. I'd love to keep exploring healing modalities through sound and visuals. I think there's so much potential in there that I'm still only starting to tap into. And it's a really exciting journey.